Hello guys, my name is Anthony and today I'm gonna be talking a bit about this book, A Long Way Gone. I first came across A Long Way Gone in 2009 when I was in Sweden. And Sweden is a society that many English books are not being sold over there. So I have to do an international order. It took me nearly 2 weeks for me to get this book after I pay for it. Passed through bookshop here and there, because I saw the Swedish version of the book. In Sweden, there was a Swedish version. They have reprinted this book in Swedish. So I saw the Swedish version, but I wanted to be comfortable when reading. So I decided to order the international version or like the English version. Eagerly, I waited for this book for over 2 weeks. When the book landed, I became so excited for me to get a book that was written by a Sierra Leonean about a war that shaped my life forever. Can you imagine? All the 11 years or so that the war was in Sierra Leone, that the war started, I went to Sierra Leone from Liberia in 1991, before even the war started. So throughout my stay, my 14 years I spent in Sierra Leone, it was in the midst of that war. That war took me across the country. I started in Shebwema, like from Mobile, the Kailaun district. It carried me to the south, like in Bo district, Bo town, everywhere we go, here and there. The war chasing me around, even. And I spent most of my time around the area that this guy said this book was written from. So can you imagine how excited I was for a brother, somebody that came from the same country, have written a story about what I know or the life that I live, things that I've been living. No holding to the fact that reporters in those days that were reporting about the Sierra Leonean Civil War, when we were there, most of them, they were lying about what was happening. And most of the information they were sending through the BBC and through the other reporting mainstream media, I have always been against those things. But there was nothing I could do. So when I got hold of this book, I was excited because I know a brother of mine has done a very good job. I went through the book, all the praises from the beginning of the book, the people recommendations, everything they were doing. People say, it came in, and then I opened to the very first chapter, which was this one. It's a New York City 1998. On the New York City 1998, I started reading the very first page, and I'm going to read what I read. My high school friends has begun to suspect I haven't told them the full story of my life. So it was like a question they were asking. Why did you leave Sierra Leone? Somebody asked Ishmael Beah, his high school friends, they asked. Then his response was, because there is a war. Then the next one say, did you witness some of the fighting? That person that asked that question, they were smart enough. Did you witness some of the fighting? Did you witness some of the fighting? Listen to Ishmael Beah reply. Everybody in the country did. I close it. Did you witness some of the fighting? Somebody was smart enough, asked some of the fighting. One person cannot be in 2 or 3 or 4 places at the same time. With the intelligence of that person, they asked Ishmael Beah, did you witness some of the fighting? And what came out of his mouth as his reply? Everybody in the country did. The moment I heard that word, my blood became cold within me. I knew straight away. I didn't even read any part of the book. The moment I hear Ishmael Beah say everybody in the country dead, I knew straight away that this guy is a liar. I have not even read the book yet. His statement carried me right back to the reporters in the 90s. The lies that were given from that point onward, I knew that my expectation about this book has been in vain. And I'm going to be honest. When I started reading what he wrote, my speculation was 100% true. Ishmael Beah is a fake. Not everybody in the country, there is no way on earth that everybody in a country, when there is a civil war, they are going to witness the war, or they are even going to be part of it. One, this is the reason why Waiting for the Bleeding Nations, in the second or third book of Waiting for the Bleeding Nation, because this is a series, I'm not going to reveal where it is. You have to get all the book for you to get the story. There is an area I address this lie I talk about. When there is war, the Roman, like the Roman of the war, it scares people away. Nobody wants to sit down and see the war. So Roman alone, that the rebels are coming, people will run away even by just somebody opening their mouth that the rebels are coming without them seeing nobody. And sometimes they run in vain. And Ishmael Beah is telling me that everybody sees the war. Everybody witnessed the war. Where on earth did you witness the war? Everyone in the country dead. Ishmael Beah is a liar. For Christ's sake. Every page that I open in this book, I'm going to prove Ishmael Beah is a liar. Let me tell you some of those people that never witnessed the war. Influential people. I talk about this in my book. Influential people. Politicians. Politicians who already know the war is coming. They already hide their family in Europe before the war even started. The Lebanese. People who has money. Who knows that with their money, even when the war is there, they're still going to get more. If the war is over, they will still acquire their property. They go. People who have families abroad, like those people who, there are some people, they have their relatives in the Western society. So when the war was coming, like country like United States or country like Britain, they send, because like they are some Sierra Leonean, they are in the West, they have citizenship in the West, but they have their family over there. They use this situation as a means for their people to join them in the West. These people never witnessed the war. And the scaremongers, those who are so much afraid that they don't want to die, even when they hear the name of the rebels, like they are 50 miles away, they run away, they go somewhere else. These people never saw the war. They keep running until they leave the country. But what does Ishmael Beah say? The opening of his book told me that everyone witnessed the war. The problem with Ishmael Beah's writing is that he forgot that he was not the only sufferer, that he was not the only person living in that country. Even though he kills all his witnesses in his book, but he couldn't kill every historian. I am a war historian. He couldn't kill me. And sadly for Ishmael Beah, the area where his work took place was the area in Sierra Leone that I found myself. Sadly for Ishmael Beah, when he was narrating that war was going on, like the date, the year that he indicated in his book, that the war took place in that area, I was still in school. And I proved that in Wailing for the Bleeding Nations. Check on my Facebook pages. Most of those people that I interact with my Facebook about this book, they are people who live in that region. They were my schoolmates. Some of us who grew up together. We have a very large Liberian refugee a contingent in Sierra Leone in that area where this war was happening. The town that Ishmael Beah said that his war took place, my class 5 teacher was from there, and I communicate with her every day. She is even waiting to read my book. When I wrote my first book in 2013, she was one of the first person that I sent a copy to her. And the revised edition that we are on, she's there. She can testify. She knows the days and everything that war reached in Matri John and the Sierra Leone area. Ishmael Beah is a bloody liar. Everything he wrote in this book is false. And as time go on, I will go on page by page to tell you how he lies about the story. And it's going to be just like I was addressing Mary Cado about her lies about the misplacement of dates. You don't even know when the war started in Sierra Leone. This is the same way Ishmael Beah doesn't know when the war went in that region. There are certain people I just can't imagine. When they are creating those lies, don't they think that there are other people who has knowledge, who will investigate some of these things? For so long, each people like Ishmael Beah, they have been sitting on this lie, and it is time I'm going to uproot those lies. This is the Home Office, and follow the Wailing from the Bleeding Nations. If you want to know the true undiluted African history, Wailing from the Bleeding Nations is the series that deal with those things. We talk about the war, we talk about those who got involved, we talk about the British mercenaries, we talk about the weak UN peacekeepers, we talk about ECOWAS fighters, those on our impregnating schoolgirls, Liberian vehicles, transfer vehicle being transferred to Sierra Leone to run transport on a military. We talk about the Kamajos, we talk about the junta, we talk about the MPFA, we talk about the election that brought about the amputation of civilians. Why does civilian has lost to lose their hands in the hands of the rebel? We spoke about all those things. We spoke about the intervention of the British against the West Side Boys in 2000 that brought an end to that war. We spoke about everything, things that you will never ever know. The reason why I am able to do some of those things is because I was lucky enough to live and mingle with all those fighters. I was even a young recruit with the SL Army that this guy said, and I know my own commander. I know his name. I know my battalion's name. I know the time they were there. And I can still pinpoint some of their homes and everywhere. But with Ishmael Beah in his book, he kills everybody. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. He has no witness. 100% of my story, the people are there. Even those who die, their relatives are there. I know their relatives. I can pinpoint their relatives. And praise God, now we have social media. I get their number. They communicate. We do everything together. But Ishmael Beah killed all his people. He killed everybody in his book. But he couldn't kill all the Sierra Leonean. So we're going to fight it. Share my channel. If you want to get raw history, African history, that is it. I'm the true historian. A war historian. I don't filter my information. It is raw as it is, and this is what Africans need. We need raw information. For so long, our history has been diluted by foreigners, where our information has not been presented the way it happened on the African continent. People have been misguided. Their misguided information has been coming our way for very long. It is a time that we Africans who have historical knowledge, we should try to correct our history. And this is my mission. I'm starting with Wailing from the Bleeding Nations, which is a series, a trilogy. I want you to have a copy. Get a copy of those books so that you will learn about the true history, about what is affecting Africa, for you to know our parasite and for you to know the things that we need to do as an African for us to have a change of situation in our lives. Thank you very much, and this is the Home Office.